Well, ANC branches in Ekurhuleni are hoping to choose new leadership today, but the region's elective conference has been marred by delays. It all relates to the exclusion of some branches. Let's find out where we are on this if we're getting going. eNCA's Lindokuhle Xulu joining us this morning. 10-hour impasse coming to an end. Could we see a resolution and a winner by the end of today?
Well, Gareth, you are speaking about the adoption of the credentials. That took about 10 hours or so, but that has finally been concluded. But the problems are not over as far as those credentials are concerned. We do understand that there have been disputes raised about some of the branches that are here, and we understand that their votes, while they are part of this particular delegation that will be voting for the new regional leadership of Ekurhuleni, it will be quarantined until those disputes are resolved. So they will be voting, they will be part of the nomination process, and thereafter they will then try to resolve some of those issues before they actually announce in terms of who actually gets the votes. But one of the things that has happened now at around 8, we did receive that they have concluded in terms of those credentials, and at 9 they had adjourned to actually allow for people to refresh and come back at around 11. So that adjournment will be just short, about 2 hours or so, and thereafter we're expecting that delegates will be returning to this very conference center. This will be for the issues of trying to get through the nominations and actually have that report, organizational report, where they talk about issues that they've faced, including losing governance in the region of Ekurhuleni. So there's still much to go. There's still much to do in terms of their program. I can tell you that they have not even concluded with day 1 of the program. So some of the things we understand will be sped up in terms of getting through them. But one of the things that remains is whether there'll be time for discussions and plenary in terms of getting through some of the resolutions that they need to take as a conference in terms of policy, in terms of governance, and those things are some of the things that might suffer because of some of the delays that we've seen. But for now, a short adjournment. Delegates will be returning to this conference center, and we understand that there'll be a process of nomination, there'll be organizational report, as well as the voting that will be sped up. But there's still a lot that remains to be done with this conference. So it will be interesting to see how they navigate their way in terms of making sure that they finish today, because Premier David Makhura, in his opening yesterday, he did say that one of the things that needs to happen is for this conference to be concluded by today.
He also slammed as well, didn't he, the conduct of party members, remembering as well towards the beginning of this entire process, we were seeing security guards dressed in black, and I even heard reports, Linda, of furniture being thrown around as these two factions were not very happy with each other. What's it look like this morning? More security, or does it look like at least they've pulled back on security for now and tied down the furniture?
Well, I can tell you that yesterday we were outside. We were observing some of those branches that were disqualified. They are the ones that have been acting in a manner of saying that they want their dispute to be resolved before this conference could have begun. We saw them at the Boksburg Civic Center. When they went there, they were forcing their way into that particular structure where registration was taking place. They had halted some of that registration because they were saying that if they cannot register, no one should. They then moved towards this particular conference center. So that is why we saw a bolstering of the security. But I can tell you that the security remains the same. It remains tight. Everyone who comes in this particular Indaba hotel in 4 ways is screened. They are being checked. If you do not have an accreditation, then you are not allowed to come in. That has since subsided, though. But one of the issues now was also the emotional address from David Makhura to say that this is not reflecting well in terms of the movement. He says that they must, in fact, clean up shop in terms of their behavior. He gave them a tongue lashing about the fact that they are essentially families, and that conference must not form divisions that will last forever, because after conference, all of the delegates that are here, branches, must be able to work together for the better and the renewal of the African National Congress. So he gave quite an emotional speech about the fact that there is indeed some divisions among the movement. There is a plan to renew the movement, but some of the scenes that we've seen unfold in the last couple of days are certainly speaking about faction factionalism within the party that is damaging its image, especially with this region that lost governance through any coalition government. The DA is leading in terms of that particular region. So while they are trying to renew the organization, while they are trying to regain governance within some of those metros that they've lost governance, it says that this is not looking well, and they must in fact start acting right so that the people of the country, the people from these metros, are able to trust them again.
Yeah, let's not forget as well how much damage the ANC in Gauteng suffered in those 2021 local government elections. Just last year, Linda, of course, the three metros you're talking about, Joburg, Tshwane, and of course Ekurhuleni. So the ANC have a lot of work to do in Gauteng, and it's this conference that is one of the key conferences we have to watch so closely. All right, so 11 o'clock, we'll probably come back to you again for the latest on that. Lindokuhle Xulu out for us, ANC Ekurhuleni conference. A bit of a break for the moment, but it looks like an impasse has now come to an end, but there could be issues around accreditations being quarantined. Essentially, it's accreditations with amendments that could very well be the problem. So Lindo and I were talking about the ANC Gauteng chair, David Mukura. Well, he did condemn the conduct of those party members at this conference, calling their behavior shameful. Some members had forced their way into the Indaba Hotel in Fourways on Friday. They claimed they were unfairly excluded from the conference, exactly what Linda was explaining. Law enforcement even had to be deployed to try and keep order.